Tacoma, Washington. Woo! We're smoking weed. We're getting drunk. Yeah! Woo! Time over here. And we have our next guest of the night, and that is Kelly McLauchlin, guitarist of Pessimist, formerly of Possessed. Kelly, welcome to Thrash Zone.
Fuck yeah! Hey, Billy, what's going on, man?
Yeah!
Yeah!
This is what's going on. We're going to talk all about death metal tonight, man. So, Kelly, tell us what's happening. What's going on with Pessimist?
Fuck yeah! So everything's really taken off for Pessimist right now. We just finished playing some string of shows this past summer, including Maryland Deathfest, the Las Vegas Deathfest, some other killer shows up in New York and around the place. And just a few weeks ago, played a festival out here called Ruin Fest in Southern California. And it was fucking awesome, man. It was badass. We got a new song out that we just released a single at the end of December 2018 called Keys to the Underworld.
Yeah.
And that was released on all the digital platforms, iTunes, Amazon, et cetera, et cetera. That's out there, and we're writing for the new album.
And guess what, Kelly? We're going to play that song tonight.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Keys to the Underworld. Hey, Kelly, do me a
that.
favor. Speak up a little bit, will you?
Okay, man. Take it off speaker. How's that?
There you go. That's much better. Much better.
Much better.
All right.
Good.
So, Keys to the Underworld. That's the new latest album for Pessimist.
Yeah, so actually right now it's a single, which we released, as I mentioned, on all digital platforms. We'll be re-recording that song as the title track for the full-length record, which should be done, this year.
Yeah, that's killer, man. So let's start from the beginning, man. Like, your band came. You guys started out over in Baltimore. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, it was back in what, 93?
Yeah, 1993.
You guys released a demo. It's called Dark Reality.
That's right.
Yeah.
We did a couple of demos, Dark Reality, and then Absence of Light in 95, which was actually an EP, and then we got picked up by a label up there in the Northwest called Lost Disciple Records.
Really, right here in the Northwest? What was it in Portland?
The label. Oh, sorry, I meant Northeast, bro.
Oh, Northeast. I thought you said Northwest.
Yeah.
I was like,
go.
what?
Hey.
Oh, okay. Yeah. But wait, we just slow down a bit here, Kelly. So, you guys, when you released the Dark Reality, you guys played some shows opening for some acts like Deicide, who Nasty Savage played for, we were talking to you earlier. They said that with Glenn Benton and Malevolent Creation. And then when you released Absence of Light, it was on an EP. It was an EP that was released on cassette, and that landed you some gigs where you opened up for like Testament, Forbidden, Suffocation, Napalm Death. Yeah. So take us from there.
Yeah, dude. Oh man, well that's going back a ways. I mean, a lot has happened since then.
Well, we start from the beginning.
Yeah, it was like 20 years ago, man. So let me paraphrase it. But like I mentioned, we had signed to a label that was called Lost Disciple Records. We recorded a couple of CDs, which did really well. A lot of radio airplay and got us really noticed in the underground. A lot of magazines. And our first CD was called Cult to the Initiated. The second one was called Blood for the Gods. And, at that point, we basically started playing festivals, played Milwaukee Metal Fest. We did November to Dismember in California and in Texas. Bunch of the festivals up the East Coast, like New England Hardcore and Metal Fest up in Massachusetts. Also, March Metal Meltdown in New Jersey, and actually completed our first European tour around that same time in 1999. Whenever we toured Germany and a bunch of places over there, Czech Republic, the Netherlands, and basically at that point we went through some lineup changes around the year 2000, and we ended up recording our third CD, which is called Slaughtering the Faithful. We flew down to Tampa, Florida, and recorded that with Eric Rutan. We were actually one of the first bands that Eric ever worked with, besides us and Chrissy and his own band, Hate Eternal. And that really put us on the map. Again, we did a bunch more shows. And at that time, then the band ended up going on break for a few years. I'd actually moved to Florida. I ended up playing in a band which turned out to be Unholy Ghost, which was me and some of the guys from Diabolic. Also ended up playing in Diabolic some years later. And, you know, I was touring around and playing some other bands too. Filled in with Angel Corps for a little bit. And some other bands from Florida you might not have heard of, Equinox. Basically just kind of doing the live thing. And, you know, Pessimist was kind of on the back burner during that time. So in 2008, we put out a compilation record which had some cover songs we had done, tributes to Creator, Possessed, Megadeth.
That was Evolution onto Evil, right?
That's correct.
Yeah.
Evolution onto Evil, that came out on Pathos
Yeah!
Productions, and also Deathgasm Records. It was a dual release. And, you know, at that time I was still busy playing in Diabolic. And let's see, kind of fast forward to around 2011, and I auditioned for Possessed. I got the slot in Possessed.
Right.
Yeah, which was amazing.
Yeah. No, we know Jeff very well.
Awesome. Yeah, Jeff's a good brother of mine.
Yeah.
In many years. Yeah, dude.
So now, Kelly, here's one thing that this is where I really started to get to recognize you at this point is when you started playing with Possessed. But there was another band also that you started that you didn't start, but you had filled in some shoes for a guitar player that couldn't play, and that was in Eliminate. And yeah,
right.
Yeah, and you did some shows. No, those guys were all good friends of mine. John Signorelli. I stayed at his house for like a week over in Anaheim last time I was there. Dude, this guy's got like this killer mansion. It's got like 10 to 8 rooms in it. It was fucking awesome. He's got a swimming pool. Yeah. Oh yeah, he's living good in Anaheim. Let me tell you. Yeah. You know John, right?
Living good anywhere.
Yeah, John, I've been to his house, bro. It's
right.
a nice setup there, bro. Pool in the backyard, a barbecue, and all
that. Yeah. I stayed there for a whole week, man. I love that place. We hung out with Don Doty and Joe Cangelosi, Scott Owen, and you filled in. I believe it was for Henry, right? Elizondo.
Yeah, you know what's funny? I actually ended up playing in that band at 2 different times, and for one string of shows, Scott was in the band, and then the next time out, it was me and Henry, and Scott was not in the band. So I actually played with both of those guitar players at 2 different times.
Wow,
kind of funny.
Yeah, but when you last played with Eliminate, what was that like? Was it a year? It was 2 years ago, right?
I'm trying to remember the last show we played together with those guys, man.
Yeah.
Because we did the West Coast tour, and then we came back and we did, that's right, we played a festival in New York, which was the Rage of Armageddon Fest.
Right.
Yeah, man.
That's cool. Eliminate was cool. I really thought something was going to happen with Eliminate, with Don Doty and everything. It was his big comeback from Dark Angel. But it kind of didn't really, rise to fruition the way we all thought it would. However, it got a lot of people together and it triggered some good shit. And from what I understand, Kelly, you did a really awesome job on those shows when you guys had to do, like several California shows. And I think, it all fell apart in San Francisco or something like that.
Well, half the band didn't show up, but we won't
yeah,
get into
exactly.
that. I'll just say that, really, man, playing in the band was a great opportunity. It was a lot of fun. You know what I mean? We played a huge show at the Regent in downtown LA.
Yeah.
It was sold out, actually. It was freaking packed. And, kids were stage diving the whole time. It was just feet in the air, and it was just, maniacal thrash metal the whole time, man. It was a fucking blast.
That's awesome.
So, and really great to pay honor and tribute homage to, to the God's Dark Angel, man. I just really enjoyed and loved playing those songs. And, it was a great bunch of guys. It's a shame that it didn't work out. So
I know it is. It is a total shame. But I'll tell you what, man. Don Doty grows some really good weed. He does.
Is that
right? When I was staying over at John's house, man, one day Don comes over, and he literally had like these big huge mason jars. He had like 5 of them, dude. He's like, hey, Billy, he's all here. Grab all the weed you want. Take it with you back to Portland or whatever you want to do. I'm like, Don, I can't take all this weed on the airplane. He's like, well, you better start smoking then. So the whole time I was there, all I was doing was just smoking weed. It was fucking great.
Yeah, stuff me a teddy bear and mail it to me.
Yeah. All right, so tell us a little more about your Possessed years.
So, well, that was really cool, man. Playing in Possessed for me was like really a dream come true, man. Because Possessed is a band I was listening to since I was 15 years old. You know what I mean?
Right.
You know, I grew up listening to the Exorcist and Seven Churches and everything. Beyond the Gates, Eyes of Horror. You know, that's a band. When I heard them, I went out and bought all their tapes. You know what I mean? And that's back in the day when you had to drive like an hour to go to an actual record store.
Exactly.
You know, you're lucky you even had the the stuff you were looking for. So, yeah, dude, like I said, I already know all the songs kind of, in my head, how they went. So it's a matter of just sitting down and getting the riffs together. In February 2011, I flew out and auditioned and got the spot. And I was just, through the roof, man, excited. It was amazing. And it seemed like, 2 weeks later, we were playing the Key Club in Hollywood. And the next week after that, we were playing Hellfest in France in front of, 8,000 people or whatever. So
yeah, that's incredible.
It was just fucking amazing. Yeah, we had a blast.
Yeah.
We played all the songs off Seven Churches, everything off of Beyond the Gates, and a few of the songs, like My Belief and stuff like that off of Eyes of Horror.
Yeah.
Did you ever play really great,
Did you play like The Seventh Sign or anything off of that CD?
No.
No? Okay. So it was all the earlier stuff then?
Well, yeah, just the first 3 albums.
The first 3 albums, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Which were the classic albums, you know what I mean? But, damn. That you look like you had a lot of fun there. Like you played it on that yacht cruise too, right? What are they? 70,000 tons of metal or whatever it is.
Yeah, we did a cruise. We played it was actually called Barge to Hell, which it was actually the same cruise ship I had already sailed on, 70,000 tons of metal, the first one. But actually the same ship, a little bit different lineup. This was all the darker, heavier, evil bands that we all love.
Right.
So it was us and a bunch of other sick bands, and yeah, that was fucking great, man. We played 2 sets all the way down to, I believe we went to the Bahamas that year. So, played the main stage the first night. We played the open air, the full stage on the way back, which was just freaking amazing. And yeah, man, it was great.
Yeah, my life. You're lucky you guys didn't get pirated, man, because there's all them people out there. There's a big problem with people getting pirated out in the sea.
I think we would scare the pirates away, dude. The pirates would run into us, man.
Right?
He was just cranking his guitar. And the pirates are like, see ya. No shit. Right on. So what happened? So after you did Evolution onto Evil, and everything, you said you disbanded for a little while. Well, okay, you guys get back together, and then what happened there? Where are you then?
Oh, let's see. So, I mean, basically after I was in Possessed until about 2013, and left the band at that point. And then by 2014, Pessimist was back together, and our first show back together after that was Las Vegas Deathfest in 2014.
Yeah.
I
was invited to that too, man. Fuck.
Say it again?
I was invited to that, but I couldn't make it. I couldn't fly out there.
Bro, you should go to that if you get a chance to check it out. That's a festival. It just gets better and better each year. They're in their 10th. This will be the 11th year running, I believe. So,
yeah, that's awesome.
I actually played it last year and pulled double duty with both bands, Pessimist and Diabolic,
Damn.
in the same fest.
Right.
That's fucking awesome.
You also did the Maryland Death Fest, didn't you?
Yeah, this last May we played Maryland Death Fest, which was the first time ever, which is fucking amazing because, it's our hometown. That's where Pessimist had started out,
right?
20 some odd years ago. So it was great to see we had a lot of hometown support there. Kids getting in the mosh pit and, wearing our old T-shirts from back in the day and stuff like that. So really, really cool.
Yeah. You also did another one. It was Rage of Armageddon Fest over in New York.
Yeah. Yep.
How did that one go?
Yeah, it was also great. That's a smaller fest. I think it's in its 5th or 6th year running now. Ed Farsi's the promoter's a real solid dude, very well known and respected in the underground. So yeah, it was a great show. Had a good time.
All right. So Kelly, now Pessimist is back together, as you were saying. You put this album out that's about to be released. And let's see, who do you got in the band now? We have you. We have Kelly Conlon, who was in Death and Monstrosity.
Yep.
Alex Marquez, was he in Solstice?
Yeah, Alex Marquez. He's played in Solstice, Malevolent Creation.
Yeah.
A handful of bands.
Right,
Yeah.
and then you had Ivan Priest, also known as the evil one from Black Mass.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, so Ivan comes from a band called Black Mass out of Maryland. We've been friends a lot of years. Yeah, he's been with us for a while now. So he's our excellent frontman, great singer, love his lyrics, and we're writing a new album together right now. It's going to be badass.
Excellent. So right now, you guys, I'm not clear. Are you still working on Keys to the Underworld, or is it already done and you're just getting ready to release it?
Right. Yeah, the single is done, and we're still writing some more songs. We just put the finishing touches on a couple of tracks over the weekend, some pre-production stuff. We've got a couple more songs we're working on. We're looking at probably like a 9-song release. Mm-hmm. So
full length.
Yeah, it's just a process. Yep.
Excellent. So let me ask you. Let me ask you this, Kelly. What kind of gear do you have?
What kind of gear do I have?
Yeah. What do you play? What do you got?
Yeah, man. Well, dude, I've been playing Jackson guitars just forever, man. I got a bunch of Jacksons and also a couple of BC Rich guitars. I'm old school heavy metal player from back in the '80s, so I love Jackson guitars, man. They're sharp, they're pointy, they sound fucking killer. They play
They're
like
pointy.
You just can't beat them. You just can't beat them. So
Yeah.
So, that's my go-to guitars, man. Jackson Kelly's, as a matter of fact. I play a Kelly Star. One of the ones I got is actually off the cover of the Jackson year 2000 catalog.
Uh-huh.
So, just waiting for them to step up and endorse me one of these days.
Right? Hint,
That'd
hint.
be great.
Wink, wink.
Yeah, what the hell?
Yeah, right.
Well, you never know who's listening to Thrash Zone, Kelly. I'm telling you. Everyone listens here, right? Not only musicians and fans, but people in the industry. Everyone listens. So
Fuck yeah. So,
yeah.
Hey, you Jackson, hook me up.
You're right. Jackson, you hearing? You listen?
Yeah.
Knocking on your door. So where can people find your band? I know you have pessimist666.com as your website.
Right. Yeah.
But what else? Is there anything else out there where people can find your merch, get your albums, that kind of stuff?
Yeah, dude, all of that, and all of those links can be found from our official website, pessimist666.com.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. But from there, we got everything else: bands in town, Facebook, you name it, dude. Bandcamp, whatever, Instagram. So look up Instagram and also Facebook. Pessimist.deathmetal.
Flutes and pussies.
So make sure you throw that in there.
Oh no, I always laugh at Bandcamp, but Bandcamp's pretty fucking cool.
Yeah,
and the thing that I dig about Bandcamp is a lot of bands they have this thing where it's called name your price. Uh-oh. And because a lot of people don't really buy music so much anymore, but for those that do, that want to contribute and put gas in the fucking tank for these musicians so they can get to your town. I have no problems dropping $5 or $10 for an album. I mean, come on,
Yeah.
Support the cause.
Support the cause, because if you want to see them, they got to get there, And unless you give them a few ducats, they won't make it. Yeah. So, you go on Bandcamp, you just put in your price, and boom, whatever.
Yeah.
It can be 0, it could be 20, it could be anything. But, help
it's
your
your
cause.
price, man. And we also do it's like a volume discount. You can buy all of our digital releases for it's a certain percentage off the list price for all the records. So, pretty good deal, actually.
That is awesome.
We did a Black Friday special,
Yeah.
Sold a bunch of MP3s that way. So we really appreciate the support from the fans, man. I mean, it really helps out.
Right. Now, my co-host, Trent Tormina of Jekyll and Hyde, he's a guitar player. Trent, do you have any guitar-related questions for Kelly McLauchlin?
Yeah, what kind of pickups do you use?
Say it again?
What kind of pickups do you use?
Oh, right. Yeah, I'm currently endorsed from Seymour Duncan pickup. And so I got Seymour Duncan Blackouts in my main.
Oh, gotcha. All right.
Yeah, most all my Jacksons got Seymours in them. I do have the MPs and my BC Riches, and I like those as well. So, but yeah, Seymours is my go-to pickups.
So Seymour
Duncans. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Anything else?
I've
Yeah,
gone to
I really recommend the Blackout, the active ones. They're super hot, but they have a nice response, just like a passive pickup would. So I highly recommend those. Yep. Ding, ding.
Gotcha. Shit, so you're BC Rich, man. One of them's a Warlock, right?
Well, I have a Warlock, actually, an old NJ series, which is real cool. But that was
retired. Yeah.
That's the shit.
If you
that was my
Billy,
first guitar I
remember,
bought for myself.
The shows I played with Illuminate. I was playing a white BC Rich. It's called a Junior King B. That's one of my favorites. I got two of those, one in white, one in black, and they're killer.
Nice.
Yeah.
So I hear you live in Temecula.
Yeah.
I used
Love
to
it
live
out
in.
here.
I used to live in Hemet.
Okay. Yeah, sorry to hear that.
What are you guys, the Beverly Hillbillies over here? What the fuck?
It's sort of like that, yeah.
It's a reunion,
Yeah.
man.
It's just weird towns that people don't usually live in. Yeah.
Yeah, that is kind of it. You're off town, Temecula. Yeah.
Temecula's cool. I'm about halfway between San Diego and LA, so you know what I mean. I go see metal shows down at the Brick by Brick. You know what I mean? It's about an hour drive. I can be in LA in like an hour and a half. So yeah, it's pretty good. Pretty good location.
Yeah, it is. At
Maybe
least
in Orange County in like an hour. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'd rather live in Orange County any day.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Especially
I'd rather
where
live
John
here.
lives. Seriously, you ever seen this guy's place? I'll show you pictures of this guy's mansion. It's fucking killer, dude. Yeah. You know, I got a funny story, Kelly. Like when I was down there, they were playing the Jesse Pintado. What do they call that? The show for his memory. And
yeah, it was called the what was that, Grind Fest or something?
Yeah,
like
something like that. It was
Yeah.
And fucking John's truck it broke down, and so everyone was like wondering, okay, we're all gonna pack into Don's car, right? And then Don's truck, Don got into an accident on the freeway on the way to pick us all up. So now we had two cars that were jacked and all these people waiting to go to the show, right? And it was the funniest thing. You seen John under one car and Don Doty wrenching on the other, trying frantically to get these trucks to run in time to get to the show. And they did manage to get it going, but they were covered in grease and dirt, and we had to leave because it was time to play, dude. And we still had to go down to South Central where they were playing. They were playing at it sounds like some Russian name or something. I don't know. But it was a crazy show, man. It was in all these killer bands were there. Oh, I'm telling you, man. Yeah, Jesse Pintado, man. He's great man he was. And we were hanging out with Emma Pintado, which was his daughter, and Enrique Chavez. And it was just a good time,
Enrique.
man. Yeah, Enrique.
Yeah.
So if those guys are listening, hey, what's going on, Enrique?
Yeah, that was a great show. I was actually at that show and saw them play. That was the first Eliminate show they played. And I was actually there and saw them.
Yeah, I was there.
And then, okay, cool.
You know what? While they were playing, I was sitting at the merch booth. They stuck me there with having to sell T-shirts.
Okay, cool. I was slurping down some of that. I think they were selling like menudo or something out of the. It was like handmade Mexican menudo out of the snack bar there. It's amazing.
Yeah,
it's really good, man.
That was
But yeah, dude. The struggle is real. You know, getting transportation out to the shows and stuff like that. Those guys are, they're grinders. You know what I mean? From the underground. So you just never give up, bro. Never surrender, man. And just fucking keep fighting.
Right.
Yeah, the show must go on. So.
There you go. So Kelly, what's next for Pessimist, man? When are we going to see you over here in the Northwest anytime soon?
Well, let's see. Yeah, I mean, we have some Southern California shows coming up. Actually, in about 2 weeks here in around L.A., Orange County, and Laguna Niguel, and also in San Diego. A club called Till 2. So that's all going on NAMM weekend. Actually, one of those events is called Death for NAMM. So it's us and some other bands, Empyrean Throne, I believe, and that's over at the Carman Club in Laguna Niguel. And then that Saturday night is we'll be at the 5 Star Bar in L.A. Nothing really scheduled for the Northwest, but we will also be performing at the California Deathfest, which is in Los Angeles this year. That's in July.
Uh-huh.
And then we have some East Coast shows coming up in May. We're playing Tampa and Miami. And if all goes well, we're headed down to Cuba as well. So
Cuba.
Yeah.
All
yeah,
right.
It's going to be awesome.
Bring me back some cigars.
fingers
No, that sounds killer, man. So, hey, I'll tell you what, though, Kelly. When you guys do eventually make your way towards Portland, Seattle, I, along with the Thrash Zone crew, will be there front and center in the pit.
Yeah!
Fuck yeah, guys. Hey, it'd be great to see you, man. I love Oregon up there and Washington, and I toured up there with, with Possessed, and then also I toured through there with Angel Corps back in like 2008.
Yeah.
So it's a real great scene, and fuck yeah.
That's awesome, dude. Kelly, is there anything you want to tell everyone listening right now on 2 radio stations and also heard in 129 countries?
Fuck yeah. Yeah, I just want to say thanks, Billy, for having me, and give a big shout to all the fans out there, the Pessimist fans who listen to us and support us over the years. Everybody keep in touch, give us, drop us a line, and check out our websites, look for the links, and that's it, man. Hope to see you guys at the shows, and look for our new album coming out soon.
Awesome.
Brother.
So for all information on the band Pessimist and to get their merch, go to pessimist666.com and look for the Keys to the Underworld, because that's going to be coming out soon, and it's going to be shredding.
Yeah.
Right.
Fuck yeah, brother.
All right. Kelly.
Yeah, brother Billy. Thanks.
Any last words? Tell them right now.
That's it. Keep music evil.
All right. Well, here's what we're going to do. All right. Not only am I going to play some Pessimist, but I'm going to play a lot of it. I'm going to play 6 songs. What do you think of that?
Son of a bitch.
6 songs.
666.
Oh, yes.
Really appreciate all the support, man.
These are all songs Kelly personally sent me, and I asked him to do that. Because one more thing, Kelly, before you go, there was a big problem with other bands using the name Pessimist, and a lot of people confuse your band with another, like the Germany band Pessimist and the punk band Pessimist. Why don't you tell us before you go a little bit about the problem and the struggles you have with that and the confusion?
Yeah, I mean, you and I talked offline a little bit about that. I don't really have anything good to say about it, other than, we had the name Pessimist first, you know what I mean? I've had the name since back in 1989.
Right. Before they were even alive.
Officially formed in 93. Exactly. We toured in Germany and in Europe before those guys were even born. And then the band, literally, they come out later and, decided they're going to form a band and call it Pessimist. And, I wrote to them and I said, hey, guys, there's already bands, called Pessimist. At that time, I had the website, pessimist.com, the actual domain name.
Yeah.
Which has since expired. And, now, I understand if it was back in the days, you know what I mean? Like, there's 2 Devastations and there's 2, there's like 2 Disgorges, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, there's examples of that, but that was kind of like back in the day before the internet. But I think nowadays that, the internet's out there, there's really no excuse to go around, trying to bite off someone else's name. And I wrote to the guys, I said, look, man, when we were coming up, that's, we had a lot more pride than to take somebody's name, that was already taken.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? Like, you can't just like, here's a cool name and just pull something out of the air and like, oh, that's taken. Well, we'll just use it anyway. That's fucking bullshit. And I hope I can cuss on the air here, brother. This is internet radio, or whatever.
No, you can say whatever the fuck you want, Kelly. And you know what? I totally agree with you, because look, like there was you remember back in the old days when there was a Slayer there in Huntington Park.
Yep.
And then there was a Slayer in Texas.
In Texas, that's right.
Exactly. Yeah, and they had the same fucking problem.
Yeah. Well, they, eventually the biggest bands, won out in that case.
Yeah.
And the same in this instance, bro. I'm actually finally trademarking the name, so I submitted the application yesterday.
Excellent.
And we'll have it on lockdown, at least in the U.S. And if we got to go fight it overseas or whatever, you know what I mean? So
cage match.
But
now what do you do? You have a cage match, exactly. It's for the title, baby. This one's for the title.
Your name. dude. Aside from that, we don't have to get into it. We are who we are, and my main concern is for the fans. It's confusing for the fans.
That's why I wanted to bring that up, because I want people to understand when they're looking for Pessimist. Like, I had this problem when I looked on YouTube. There was there was 3-4 different bands called Pessimist. I was like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
This is bullshit.
Yeah.
And and you were saying like the punk band too. They're Pessimist, but they put a period at the end of their name to make them different.
They just came out like 2 months ago.
So unique.
So unique. Very original, guys.
Obviously a different band.
But as Kelly said, obviously, he wrote them and said, "What the fuck are you doing?" They didn't care because they're a fucking punk band. They're like, "Oh, well, whatever."
Yeah, they're a punk rock band.
That's what are you gonna do, right?
Look at punk rockers.
Yeah. But hey, make no mistake. There's only one, and that's the one we're playing tonight.
The only one,
brother. That is Pessimist.
The OG.com.
The OG gangster.
Yeah, the OG.
The original. All right, Kelly, man. Thank you very much for joining us this evening. It's been great talking with you, and we hope to have you on the show again. Maybe after the album drops, we can bring you back and talk a little bit more about it. How about that?
Yeah, man, definitely. That sounds great, Billy. Thanks so much, brother. We appreciate the support.
All right. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Keep it fucking evil.
You got it. That's Kelly McLauchlin of Pessimist. And for all of you out there that never heard of them and have been living under the rock for the last 30 years, you're about to get schooled. And here we go, baby. Are you ready?
Yeah!
Well, then here we go. Crank it!
Christ appears, slaughters the faithful.
William Wagner of Devilation, and you're listening to the sickest metal show on the planet, Thrash Zone on KOUV.